Hello there. As you can see, I'm out in the woods today, and you know, this makes me think about another story of Eric the Elf. So, one day, Eric was out cutting wood for his fire in his cottage. He was working away with his little axe, just on some small branches which had fallen from the trees, and all of a sudden, there was a great hullabaloo. And Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit and all the tiny little rabbits came dashing past him, all in a great panic. "Whoa, whoa, whoa," said Eric. "What on earth is the matter?" "Oh, whoa, oh," gasped Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit, quite out of breath. All the little rabbits gathered around their feet. Mrs. Rabbit said, "Oh, we have just been so frightened by Mr. Fox. He's been howling and barking and scratching at the ground by our burrow. Oh, first scared us witless, it did. We just had to run away." "Oh dear, dear, dear. I don't like the sound of that," said Eric. "I think I shall have to have a word with him." "Oh yes, yes, please do, said Mrs. Rabbit. And gradually all the little rabbits calmed down, and Eric left them in the clearing, all hugging each other and starting to feel a little bit better. Eric went home, had a bit of a think about this, and the next day, still thinking about it, he went out to the farm, which was quite near his cottage, and he thought to himself, "I'd like a lovely egg for my breakfast. I'll go and see the chickens at the farm and see if they've got one they'd let me have." So he toddled off to the farm, and when he got there, all the chickens were clucking and squawking and flapping their wings, and there was a terrible carry-on. Chickens running to and fro. Goodness me. Anyway, Eric sought out Lucy, who he knew to be a fairly sensible chicken, and said, Lucy, what on earth has happened? Why are all the chickens in such a panic?" "Well," said Lucy, "that Mr. Fox has just scared us witless. He's been running up and down outside our fence. He's been howling and barking and jumping up at the fence. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. We're in such a flap." "Oh dear, dear," said Eric. "I think I shall have to have a little word with Mr. Fox." "Oh dear," said Lucy. I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think he's going to listen to a little word. I really don't. I don't." "Well, we'll see," said Eric. And he spent a little while speaking with all the chickens, catching up on the gossip, and gradually they all calmed down and started to feel a little bit better. And at the end of this, they insisted that Eric take 2 eggs for his breakfast, which he was most grateful for. And he went back to his little cottage in the woods and put his thinking cap on. So, that evening, Eric left his cottage very quietly, just after it got dark, and he went down all the little paths in the forest towards the den of Mr. Fox. For he knew that nearby Mr. Fox's den there was an old hollow tree. When he got there, he climbed inside the hollow tree and waited very quietly. A little while later, he heard the scuffling and scratching and yawning as Mr. Fox climbed out of his burrow. Eric took a great deep breath and in a booming voice called out, "Ooh!" howling like a wolf. "Who are you to go running amok in my part of the forest?" Well, Mr. Fox heard this and just didn't know where to put himself, because the hollow tree had amplified Eric's voice to such a degree that it was like thunder speaking in Mr. Fox's ear. I'm so sorry. I really don't know what came over me. It was just a bit of fun. I didn't realise I was treading on anybody else's toes. Eric took another deep breath. Well now, Mr. Fox, if I ever hear of you carrying on like this again, I may feel that I have to come and find you for a little bit of fun. I am so sorry, said Mr. Fox. I promise it will never happen again. No, never. And he backed into his den, bowing and scraping, even though he couldn't see anything. But he knew what he'd heard. Well now, said Eric, in his booming voice from inside the tree, you make sure of that, Mr. Fox. I will bid you good night. And with that, Mr. Fox turned and shot into his den, pulled the covers of his bed over his head, and lay there quaking. After a little while, Eric climbed quietly out of the hollow tree and made his way back to his cottage. And he smiled as he thought to himself, it's as well, if you're going to be a bully, to remember that just round the corner there's probably an even bigger one waiting to pick on you. And from that day to this, Mr. Fox hasn't troubled the bunnies, and he hasn't troubled the chickens, and he has been kind and polite to everyone.